The horror stories in Vietnam ghost dog. According to the elders passed down, in the house should not have a red-nosed white dog. This dog is a lover in the guise of a dog, which can harm the owner. Keep it, usually a dog, but sometimes it turns into human form to cause harm to humans. I have heard many stories of white dogs, and dog owners have been victims of it. The story is that a rich man has a white dog with a red nose. Only when the dog has a red nose, it is worth to be wary of, but if the dog has a white nose, or a black nose or another color, the dog is just the dog with many ears. Painting. When his female dog gave birth to a group of 5 puppies, including a red-nosed white dog, many people advised him to beat it to death or to let him grow. He should pick up plum. He did not listen and said, a dog is a dog, a white dog, a black dog, a yellow dog. A dog is a dog, even though its nose is black, golden brown or white. He kept raising dogs. There were friends from nearby who saw that his house had a litter of dogs. They asked him the permission, and no one asked for a red-nosed white dog. This dog, after breastfeeding, began to know how to eat rice very quickly when he was growing up looking so beautiful. He was a ferocious dog, very good watchdog, and his life as well as another dog. Also removes baby feces and loves to eat dirty. Some people advised him to be cautious, lest it be possible. He did not believe. He thought it was a miracle, believing it was just a superstition. His house is tiled, with sloping roofs, with gutter to catch rainwater in shallow pools, difficult to climb roofs. Whenever the house leaks, it is difficult to replace a tile to climb. Yet one night, he heard the sound of people walking on the roof with a cane. He thought it was a thief, so he pretended to cough so that the thief saw that someone was awake and went out. With his coughing sound, indeed the sound on the roof softened gradually. When it reached the end of the gable, it was completely gone. The next night he heard the same sound. Again, he sat up and lit the lamp, the sound fading away. Then the third night, the fourth night, the event recurred. This thief was very brave. His way of stealing only worked overnight, not making the thief completely afraid. He had to watch and give this thief a match so that he would not dare come to look for a way at his house from then on. He took the crossbow, which used to be guarded at the roof, put the bundles of arrows down, and then Thursday night, he put the arrows on the crossbow and waited. The door opened to the yard, not just closed. It was just past midnight when he heard a sound like 4 nights ago. That night was dark, with no moon, though many stars, but the starlight was not bright enough for people to see clearly what they wanted to see. Walking out to the yard, the rich man looked up at the roof. His bedroom was near one end of the gable, and to the garden stood in front of this room, so looking up at the roof, he could only see where he stood, but on the other end he could not see clearly. On that clear side, he could see a figure of people, head wearing a hat, walking stick with hands. He was surprised, stealing something so strange, stealing again wearing a hat and walking stick. He decided to look closely. Through the darkness, he saw a man not very tall, a 7-8-year-old child, short arms and legs. Which house is this mischievous devil? The shadow sometimes looks like it looks far away, seems to be waiting or looking forward to something. Regardless, whatever he wanted, whether he was a thief or a mischievous child, he raised his crossbow to shoot an arrow in the direction of the shadow. Intentionally shot slightly far from the target to intimidate. He did not intend to hit. He regret children die. The arrow shot up, about a meter from the black shadow. The shadow startled, then only whipped one. It plunged into the darkness, disappeared. A rich man returned in, unable to help wondering about what had just happened. He lay thinking, wandering about before he could sleep. The next morning, when he got up, he didn't make tea to drink water. His wife asked, "Might you? I had last afternoon to stay in the kitchen. Did he do anything to? It's evening. I did nothing to the hat. Where did you leave it?" His wife did not forget. When coming back from the field, she hooked the hat to the ear of the rice mill by herself. This morning she was about to go to the field to find it. Duan made tea and poured his wife a cup of water. Then his son from outside the garden came in, took his mother's hat and said, "Mother's hat, who brought it out the garden?" "Hence, I found it. Next to the hat is this stick." The rich man said, "I guess anyone is playing with anything." The wife did not say anything, finished her tea, picked up her hat and put on her head and went to the field to look after the plow worker. He continued to wonder about the hat and the stick. Then a neighbor came to play. The rich man told him what happened last night, clearly stating the fact that his wife's hat was thrown outside the fence. The neighbor did not say anything, drank water, ate better nut, and smoked and left. Coming to the gate, he invited the rich man to visit his house because he had a story to tell. Well, the rich Man talked to his wife and children, as well as when he talked to the neighbor, the white. And red-nosed dog kept wandering around under the bed or going out into the yard and back. And again. Had it been a human being, would have been suspected of eavesdropping. After a long time, the rich man went to visit his neighbor's house. After inviting guests into the house to eat betel nuts and drink water, the neighbor said. I had to invite you. Over because the story told you, I don't want the red-nosed dog to hear. I noticed it just. Wandered around to eavesdrop what he said to me, and of course what I would tell him. The rich man asked surprisedly. The white dog can eavesdrop. It's correct. This white. Oh, it was not a dog. It was a ghost, and the black shadow he saw on the roof was him. The rich man said. I don't believe it, the dog cannot know how to wear a hat and can walk. Of 2 feet. The neighbor said. Oh my god. You are so pervasive. As a demon, it can walk with 1 leg and even walk with 2 legs. Didn't you hear what the old man said about the red-nosed white dog? The rich man shook his head. The neighbor continued. The elders said that a red-nosed white dog is a dog-shaped demon. He usually wears a hat with a cane to walk on top of the house. What does it do that for? So you let the black shadow walk on the roof of your house, a child or something? Every family is so naughty at night. Besides, how dare a child brush away when he lets go of the arrow? Yes, that fell on the body. Still climbing on the roof to do, I think, he climbed up to wait for his fellow ghosts. Maybe he dated a meeting with many other demons and red-nosed or white-nosed dog guys, either at his house or elsewhere. It looked in the distance to see its friends there.